At the end of a training session that I ran a few days ago, one of the salespeople who attended the session approached me and asked me, what is it that I would recommend that they focus on right now in this market when it comes to closing the gap between the buyers and the sellers? And I recommended to that salesperson three things that I believe we should focus on in this market. The first one is understanding people's reasons for the transactions and focusing them on those reasons, not on money. The second thing is understanding people's motivation. How motivated are they? And the third thing is to take our time when it comes to negotiating. So with reason number one, understanding people's reasons and focusing them on that. When it comes to buying and selling houses, most of the time people don't do it just because of their money, but because they have a reason to buy or a reason to sell. And in our negotiation, if we help them remember what the reasons are, if we help them focus on the reasons and slightly less on the money, it will help us to move them towards making the deal or making the sale happen. Because if we get stuck on the money, people forget why they do what they do. But if we help them remember the reason, many times the money will move to the side and they will be willing to move towards each other and the sale will happen. The second thing, motivation. If people are not motivated to buy, if people are not motivated to sell, they are simply not going to negotiate, and there's nothing we can do about it. If I'm putting my house on the market just because I want to see if I can get a certain amount of money, which is way above what the market is telling me that my house is worth, I'm not going to negotiate. If I am just looking for a bargain, I don't really care whether I buy a specific house or not, I'm not going to negotiate. So in our negotiation, when it comes to closing the gap, understanding how motivated people are will really help us understand whether we can close the deal or not and how hard to work on it. And the third thing is just to really take our time. We are in a market where there's less pressure on buyers to move and many times less pressure on sellers to sell. And so therefore, we need to move as much as we can, but as slow or as long as it takes us to make the deals happen. And it might take us 2 or 3 days, it might take us a week, it might take us a few weeks. That specific salesperson has told me about a sale that they have just made, and it took them 3 weeks to close that sale, to make that sale happening. So remember those three things, focus on them when it comes to closing the gap right now, using your scripts and dialogues as you go, and you will see, I believe, that you will be able to help more people make things happen.